Hey guys, here to talk about Breaking Bad again, breaking it down, the episode 51. A reminder that for the characters on this show, it's only been 1 year for everything to happen.
Yeah, also, isn't it 1 year until the end as well?
Well, I don't know if they got so specific on us, but they mentioned, yeah, his birthday, didn't they?
They mentioned his birthday, so maybe like the whole thing takes place in 2 years.
Although that'd be funny because that means that there's only 12 episodes left after this one that they'd kind of raced through a whole bunch there.
TV time is so interesting. Like it felt like way more than a year, and you know he's gone through such a transformation in that time.
They had one little sort of meta joke. Marie said, "It sure feels like more than a year," you know, to kind of reference. It was a busy year. A lot happened.
Sure feels like 4 seasons.
That's right. Multiple Emmys.
Yeah, awesome.
So this episode was obviously very sort of Skyler centric. I know, an interesting sort of polarizing character for people. She had that burden early on of being the person who might ruin our anti-hero's crime spree. I think a lot of people's perceptions of her has changed over the years, or at least changed on Walt a lot. But what did you think of what was going on with her this week?
I have a feeling that if you're a friend of the family, you like Skyler. You would like Skyler way better,
yeah,
knowing all the evidence. But if you're just a fan of the show, like, she's an easy person to hate because she's always the impediment to Walt.
Yeah.
This was the first episode. I personally am I fall in the camp of being a little annoyed by her.
Mm-hmm.
But this episode, I was kind of like, wow, yeah, there's a lot of impact going down on this family,
yeah,
and specifically the kids, which I didn't really think about that much. But Walt is so off in his world now. He is like oblivious and definitely headed for doom.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's getting those 2 ridiculous cars. Like, everything he's doing is so he wants to play a role. And we were mentioning before that we didn't mention last week him watching Scarface, which is interesting. A little bit of a meta moment also because Vince Gilligan has said that this show is about Mr. Chips becoming Scarface.
Right.
But you can see here, he really wants to be the crime lord. He wants to live up to the idea from movies and TV shows.
It's like, I felt like a lot of the early stuff in the show was setting that up too.
Yeah.
Like, he was set upon, or like put upon by everybody in his life. He felt like the small man in the business deal that he had with his friend. He just felt like everything in his life was pushing him into this corner of, you know, being a high school teacher, and now he has a chance to flex it, and he's doing it. It's like people who have been oppressed get to, you know, go against their captors.
Yeah.
And
it's going in a bad place. And, you know, Skyler, yes. The fact is, Skyler is not as likable a TV character, so totally understand that. But this episode was interesting because, yes, you see her point of view, just how much danger he's bringing to their lives. And he's making ridiculous promises like, oh, that's all behind us. And you're like, dude, have you watched your own show? You know?
Yeah,
it's like
clearly not behind you.
Yeah, it's not behind you. And so, yeah, you know, Skyler, it was interesting because she really kind of put it all out there, and she kind of admitted that Walt is a smarter, more clever person than she. She tried to one-up him, but she kept realizing he was smarter and he was going to come up with something. But the one thing he couldn't outdo her on was when she said, "I'm waiting for the cancer to come back."
This is a show of manipulators, though.
Yeah.
You know, Mike is a manipulator, Jesse is to a degree, and Skyler is proven to be a very good manipulator, even though she kind of says, "Oh, I'm not." This is her brand of it.
Yeah.
And you know, her walking in the pool was a way to get the kids out of the house.
Yep.
And, you know, the steps after that she described, you know, maybe not so great, but she's at least thinking and at least trying to make something happen in kind of a passive-aggressive way.
Yeah, I mean, even coming up with the maybe I'll say you're abusing me. I mean, her mind was at least going to these places, even if Walt was pointing out all the ways he would subvert that, you know?
Yeah.
And then we didn't, you know, it was really very much about the home and Skyler, but there was certainly some stuff going on with the other world with Jesse and Lydia out there.
Yeah, and Lydia, I mean, what a dumbass.
Yeah.
She's just like proving again
Yeah.
and again like why she should not be put in charge of this stuff. And so then there's that whole thing where it looks like the package is being tracked, and, you know, Mike is like, it's clearly Lydia.
Yeah.
So then what do you do with Lydia? And Mike's solution, which is probably the better solution in the crime world, is to kill her. And Walt is like, no way are we slowing down production. And it seems like his driving factor at this point is money and power.
Yeah, it was interesting actually when you think about the perspectives of those 3 guys in the room, because Mike's like, kill her, she's a problem. And Jesse's like, don't kill her because I don't want to kill people. Right. And then Walt's like, don't kill her because that will halt us, and I just want to keep going. You know?
Yeah,
so
he doesn't care about the morality of killing people.
Oh, no.
You know, and Skyler actually alludes to that not even alludes to it, directly says,
yeah,
you shrug off murder like it's nothing at this point. And it's like, wow, that is a year's worth of character development, and you've gone to a very dark place, my friend.
Yeah, and then, you know, the end of the episode, it was interesting because we didn't really see how they resolved that argument about Lydia, except that, you know, we saw Jesse compliment Walt on whatever he came up with.
Right, and also what was interesting to me about that scene is he gives him the watch,
yeah,
and then Walt brings that back out at the end as like, see, you're gonna change your opinion on me, not like I have to compromise at all, I have to change it anyway. You're gonna change your opinion of me. So everything is about his power affecting everybody around him and not vice versa.
Especially when you think about the fact that he was saying, you know, Jesse had a gun to my head and now he's giving me presents. Well, Jesse had a gun to your head because he was correct about something horrible you did, and the only reason he's not giving you gifts is because you've managed to trick him.
Yeah, it's,
you know?
It's delusion all over the place for Walt. And I think though he's headed for that moment where it crashes down for him too. Like I think by the time we get to the diner at the end of this, he will have, you know, made some progress in terms of thinking about himself and saying, maybe I'm not so great. You know?
Maybe not. Yeah. Let us know what you thought of this episode. What did you think of what's going on with Lydia? What do you think of Skyler at this point? And we'll be back next week to talk more Breaking Bad.